County
Goodbye.
Sheriff's Office. It's ringing. Hello. Can I ask some questions?
Okay.
May I have your name?
I'm sorry. This is the Marion County Sheriff's Office 911 dispatcher. Can I help you?
Oh, okay. Okay. Did you not want me to know your name?
My name is Shannon. Can I help you with something, ma'am?
Well, I was trying to speak actually with the police. So what is the procedure when someone's reporting interference with child custody crimes?
Inappropriate child custody, what?
Interference.
Okay, ma'am. I didn't hear you. I'm not trying to be combative.
Ma'am, this is odd. As I've experienced years. Just calling you randomly, ma'am, it's okay. So many people try to start arguments for years, ma'am. Yes, do you know the procedure for reporting interference with child custody crimes?
I do not.
Okay, this is the police department? Oh, I tried to call the police department. Can you get me through to the police department?
I can give you the number. Are you trying to call the Jefferson Police Department? This is the Marion County Sheriff's Department. I am the 911 dispatcher, ma'am. I just got called.
Okay, so many people are upset with me for trying to get assistance with interference with child custody crimes for years for some reason. Okay, so is there another number I need to call? Can I speak with compassionate people?
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
You can't understand me? That people, I guess I talk fast because I've experienced this for years, ma'am. Okay, the number?
So, is this going to be a city in the city of Jefferson, or is this a county?
Okay. So I asked you for the Marion County to speak with the police. So how many different avenues is it to speak with a law enforcement in Marion County?
Okay, it depends on if your issue is in the city of Jefferson or if it is in the county of Marion.
Marion County.
So can I have the address so that I know which?
Is there a particular reason why I just can't get what I stated and have to go have every call long, drawn out, even in person? Is there a particular reason why I just cannot simply have the number I've went through this years?
Ma'am, I am the 911 dispatcher.
So you're refusing as a 911 dispatcher to give me the number for the Marion County Sheriff's Office, as I've experienced this years. You don't want me to have it?
Ma'am, can I help you with something? I'm not information.
Okay, so you do not want me to have the number at an emergency line to contact the police about interference with child custody crimes, as you've done years.
Okay.
You have to see it to believe it. I asked myself, I've just been through it so long, I said, I cannot believe you're experiencing this. You can completely frame someone with mental illness. And by my experience, I thought I had to be mentally ill. How could people actually do this? Which when I realized, no, these people are really psycho.
The party you have dialed does not answer. Please leave a message after
the whole
the tone.
Police department isn't answering. And 911 did not want me to speak with the police as they've hung up all over the planet, hung up and covered for crimes and were abusive and played games and dispatched out police to set me up. Called Marion County, it says Jefferson, Texas. I only see one number, but they play games because they're trying to sabotage my access. This is what I see. So since I'm clicking for the jail, since I had problems with the administration. They were covering for crimes and did not want me to know the number to speak with the sheriff.
County Sheriff's Office.
Hello, is this, so you have sheriffs there?
Just a moment.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just before you transfer me, I just had questions. May I have your position?
Jail administrator.
Okay, so you're transferring me to the sheriff's office?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So that's why at the sober living place, they had to have someone steal my tablet. And at the court, the bailiff stole it. And then they put me out to court for trying to report it. Because they didn't want anyone having knowledge of these calls.
Please
Not
leave a
answering,
message
as they've
after the
not
tone.
answered years. You can't get a hold of a police? Odd, like I've experienced years. Let me try again. Oh, this is Marion County Sheriff's Office?
This is Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, do I have access to a police officer or sheriff?
Ma'am, I just transferred you to Investigator Chuck Rogers.
Oh, I didn't go through?
It went to the voicemail.
Oh, no, I want to speak with a live person.
Okay, ma'am. Unfortunately, I can transfer you. If they don't answer, then you have to leave a voicemail.
Okay, so now at a whole police department, in a crisis, there's no way you can speak with law enforcement. I've experienced this for years. So I have an inability to call and speak with law enforcement right now for an event that's going on.
Ma'am, we are a busy department. We don't always have somebody available in the office. People are on call.
Okay, I got a call from someone. Let me check this out. Okay, thank you. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. This is Captain Rogers, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, returning your call.
How are you doing today?
Okay, what's going on?
Yes. Did you have a sheriff by the name of Deputy Do there?
I'm sorry, Deputy who?
Do.
Deputy Doos no longer works here.
Okay, well, can I know what happens when someone's reporting interference with child custody, that crime?
What do you mean?
I just want to know what police do. What's your position?
Okay, ma'am, who am I speaking to?
Oh, you don't want me to know your position?
Okay, to help you, I need to know who I'm talking to.
My name's Kiana Clark.
Spell that for me.
Keyana. Last name Clark, Clark.
Okay. And so what is it I can try to help you with today?
Do you not want me to have your name?
Ma'am, I gave that to you.
Okay, well, can I have your badge number?
Okay, 503 is Captain Rogers. I'm the criminal investigator.
Oh, well, good.
Sheriff's Office here in Jefferson.
Okay, so I just have questions. How do you handle interference with child custody? A report of that.
Okay, what do you mean?
That just in broad. It's hard for me to get any answers, just broad. Well, how do police investigate interference with child custody?
Well, ma'am, that depends on what the situation is.
I mean, it's only one crime. It's only one crime. Interference with child custody is a crime. So when someone reports that crime, I mean, I don't understand why it's been so hard for me years to get education on what police do when someone reports interference with child custody.
Okay, so you've made a case already?
I just want to know what you guys do, get education, and I don't know why I would be deprived of that for years. So can you tell me what police do when someone reports interference with child custody? And you said you're a sergeant?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was your position?
Ma'am, I'm the criminal investigator.
Oh, you're an investigator. So you should have firsthand knowledge. So when someone reports that crime, how do you handle it?
Okay, where do you live?
Sir, I just wanted information. Is there a particular reason why you don't want me to know?
Okay, ma'am, to be able to help you, I need to know where do you live.
It was in Marion County, ma'am. Sir, Marion County. Marion County. I just want information on interference with child custody, how police investigate that, and what do you do?
Okay, ma'am, you're asking a question that's got too many variables just to give you an answer. I need to know what your complaint is. Have you made a report? Let me look that up.
Okay, so basically you're an investigator, and I'm asking you for a broad range on how you assist with interference with child custody, and you're refusing to tell me that, obviously.
Okay. All right, ma'am, is there anything I can help you with today?
Okay, well, since you don't want me to know, look, if you can just hold and I'll look it up, because it says that it's a state jail felony. Is that correct?
Okay, ma'am. Is there anything I can...
Yes, sir. Just hold on if you can bear with me, because I'm asking you how you do what you do in law enforcement, and you don't want me to know.
Okay.
So I'll just look it up. Hold on, sir. Please, because it's interference with child custody. Yes, can you just hold on a second, and then I can see.
What is your complaint, ma'am, so I can get you to the right place?
Okay, so you're an investigator. When someone reports that, do you investigate it, that state jail felony?
Miss Clark, what can we do for you?
So you don't want me to know. Okay, so can I give you information on my report of my son and interference with child custody? I reported to Deputy Do interference with child custody, and I asked him to do a welfare check, and he played games, hung up in my face, and was psychologically abusive and wouldn't do it. So then I repetitively called. I'm just trying to tell you what happened. You asked for the information, and I'm trying to give it to you. So I repetitively called because I was panicking, because they would have multiple parties would hang up in my face and keep me away from my child. And then when I went to check on him, they had the water cut off and it was really bad a living environment. So then I was panicking because I didn't have access and I didn't have transportation to my transportation. Someone did something to my car. So Deputy Dew, I begged the Deputy Dew because that's someone that lived there, a gang stalker in my son's environment that later put my aunt at her own house. Said that she dealt drugs. She told me this, and she said she taught her kids how to deal drugs. The lady that lived in my aunt's house. So when I got that knowledge, I panicked. And Deputy Dew kept hanging in my face and covering for it. So I asked him to help me with the interference with child custody because they would not give me access to my child. And he was in an environment where the water was cut off and she claimed that she was dealing drugs. Deputy Dew went over there, did a welfare check, and told them not to talk to me and to block me from Facebook. And they did.
Okay.
So now that you have that knowledge, would that constitute as interference with child custody?
When did this happen, ma'am?
So you don't want to, I'm just trying to get feedback on the procedure, as I've been trying to get years. I don't know why a multitude of parties would deprive me of information like Deputy Dew when he was hanging up in my face and taunting me.
Hasn't worked here in many months, so.
Yeah, a lot of people say that people that conspire with crimes are no longer working with that department or that organization or business. I went through this years. In fact, a lot of people have lied and said parties didn't work there when they actually did to cover up for crimes. But we still haven't addressed, as I haven't with Deputy Dew, how interference with child custody is handled.
Okay. Well, once again, I've got to have more information to be able to...
Well, sir, they haven't had the information for years, and I keep repetitively am ignored. So let me look up what police are supposed to do, because it's like you're conspiring with the crimes.
Okay. Once again, can you give me a time frame so I can look up a call card?
Yes, this happened. So I bought him school clothes and did all these different things and was up there. I think I left like August 1st. Then I realized the environment was toxic and tried to get him. I called repeatedly in September. Nothing was addressed. And, I was distanced from him. And then I just tried to get him in November. And that's when Deputy Dew was hanging up and covering for whatever was going on in that environment.
November of this year?
November of 2017.
So this occurred in November of 2017?
Right. And they're doing it with the second child. Another child, since they got away with it with my other son and I was a legal custodial parent. They're doing it again with another child.
Okay, hold on just a minute. I'm not finding anything under your name.
Yeah, but you still haven't answered the question. I don't know why all parties I call on my phone deprive me of education and law enforcement.
I have to have some information from you.
Yeah, but why would I call to ask you about interference with child custody, and all parties I call will not answer any questions, which I think is suspicious, as they've done years?
Okay. Once again, can you give me some information to look either the call card up or the...
I did give you the month, which is November of 2017.
Okay, and I'm not finding anything under K-E-Y-A-N-A Clark under that time.
Well, I called and repetitively trying to get in contact with Deputy Dew. They saw it and they were hanging up in my face and were psychologically abusive, a multitude of parties. And they threatened that they were going to press charges on me for trying to have access to my child, as they did when I called Hillsborough Police and reported it, and then they lied and arrested me for 911 abusive call. Because he threatened to put a case on me, and if he was threatening to put a case on me when that lady said she taught her kids how to deal drugs in the environment my child lived in, and Deputy Dew covered for it.
Ma'am, you said Hillsborough Police?
Yes, I tried to report to Hillsborough Police that Deputy Dew and multiple staff were hanging up in my face, and Deputy Dew said he was going to press charges on me for reporting that this lady said that she taught her kids how to deal drugs. A gang stalker that lived with my aunt that eventually put her out her house.
Where's Hillsborough Police at?
We're deflecting what Deputy Dew, I've spent experienced this years. So are you refusing to tell me how it interferes with child custody is investigated, as well as everywhere I've called in the United States since this started? You don't want me to know?
What is your address? Let's start there.
Okay, so I don't know why you want to start. I would like to leave that private. I'm calling Marion County, and that's where the situation occurred.
Okay. Well, Hillsborough Police, there's no Hillsborough Police.
At that time, that was 2017. At the time, that was 2017. I think there's a discrepancy because if I lived in Hillsborough and my son lived in Marion County, I don't understand why you deflect. He was my interference with child custody crimes happened in Marion County. And I reported it to Hillsborough Police that Deputy Dew was setting me up in Marion County. And I called trying to get resolutions, and all staff was hanging up in my face covering for Deputy Dew.
Marion County, Texas.
Are you taunting me?
Ma'am.
As what's happened years?
Okay. Are you talking about Hillsborough, Texas?
Right. And are you Marion County, Texas?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So what is your address?
You know, when I called and I was panicking about something else, I think I had saw her, the snake was in front of the tent, and he asked me what church I went to when I was panicking over a poisonous snake, and I called the police because 911 kept hanging up in my face. Then the officer played games and asked me what church I attended when I was panicked because I saw a poisonous snake. I just don't know how this is possible. And for years, I've been taunted, violated, mistreated, and with no consequences for people contributing to a sane amount of psychological abuse and terror that has been unaddressed for years.
Okay, well, ma'am, I can't help you without some information. The information I'm asking for.
But I called, sir. I called you. For this one call has been 10 minutes just to simply ask you how interference with child custody works, as that information has been deprived of me for years. We've been on the phone 10 minutes and you refuse you haven't got it yet, and you guys haven't got it in all these years. So apparently you're not going to get it, but I did call you just 10 minutes ago on this phone, and I asked you about the procedure for interference with child custody. And I don't know why I've been on the line with you 10 minutes and you refuse, as well as everyone else I've called, to give me any information on that. Why would you do that?
Okay, so to investigate it, I have to have information, okay?
I just wanted to know. I called you 10 minutes ago and I asked you what the procedure is 10 minutes ago, and you haven't got the information straight. I don't think you will, but I did ask you 10 minutes ago if you can simply tell me how the investigation is done just for that crime. I've heard for years that there's like hundreds of avenues just to investigate that one crime that I've never seen law enforcement for. So supposedly there's 100 or so different avenues for that one crime of interference with child custody. Even with those 100 or so avenues, I've never received law enforcement for it for years, which seems like it's a conspiracy for that crime.
You're asking a vague question with no information for me to give you an answer.
Why do you need it, sir? It's just one crime. How, if someone is reporting a murder, why do you have to have all 172 different avenues of one crime, which is murder?
So here's what I'd like you to do. If you want me to help you anymore, come down to the Marion County Sheriff's Office at 114 West Austin Street, Jefferson, Texas, and I'll be happy to try to help you.
They did that in Itasca, sir, and they still committed the crime. They just want me to run all over the planet like my abuser likes for years, and then have you scammers tamper with evidence and commit crimes before COVID with no consequences. Okay. I tried to say that if you guys didn't have common sense, not to be ran by a sadistic psycho stalker and commit crimes like you're insane, that something needs to be done, and nothing was ever heard. Nothing was ever done. So if you guys don't have common sense, which is clear that you don't, something needs to be done. So I have been on the line all this time, in fact, years, simply asking about one crime, interference with child custody, that you guys reinforce for profit. So you deprive me of all knowledge, even courts, family courts. You're racking up a multitude of felonies with no consequences. I cannot wait for the day, if someone ever will, that you get your charges. You guys have been out of control for a long time. And hopefully, since people haven't cared about my welfare, maybe they should care about the government potentially defrauding citizens out of money in schemes. Maybe that's why you guys protect him with a vengeance. Maybe that's what he does for a living. Because I don't understand why the government would have access to scammers in their pocket. So maybe if they haven't cared about me being defrauded out of money, maybe they'll care about other citizens getting defrauded out of money by the government. Okay, sir. Obviously, there's multiple interference with child custody crimes that the government is enforcing. I just wanted you guys to rack up your charges and try to incriminate you. So you don't see anything regarding Deputy Dew, and you refuse to tell me the procedure because you didn't follow it. In fact, set me up to enforce it. So you play games, taunt, as you have for years. The psychological abuse was way worse. They just hung up when I was panicking. What kind of police would enforce that a child live in an environment with a gang stalker that eventually put my aunt out, defrauded her of funds, that said that she taught her kids how to deal drugs and that's what she did for a living? And then your police officer covered for it, went over there, told my kids to block me so he can stay in that toxic environment, and nothing was done. And that was 2017, and it's 2022. Since you got away with that, then you concocted another scheme with my other child for profit. She witnessed my foster brother screaming for terror at how disgusting our police department has been and what they were doing. Then when she experienced that, you guys had no heart and heartless. They allowed her to be torn away from the only mother, the only parent that she knew, because her dad was on drugs and on and off drugs and wasn't a part of her life. Then eventually, I guess he had an overdose and had a stroke. I don't know what happened, or, something happened with the drugs. They won't be honest. Then he couldn't talk or whatever was going on. He hid the drug addiction from me. And then when I found out of his demons, then I ended that relationship. But I'm not quite sure why whole police department, as well as all of them, enforced child abuse. I thought that was criminal. You have a responsibility to hear all this as whatever your position is, to report it to CPS, or you commit a crime. Are you going to do it? I just told you about child abuse. Interference with child custody crimes that you guys have covered up for years. And then when you got away with that, you did it to another child. Are you going to report it? Which is your obligation as law enforcement, or you commit a crime.
Ma'am, if you'll come to 114 West Austin Street, Jefferson, Texas.
I've already came and you can't find the report. I've already been there. Are you sure that you're looking up the right thing? Deputy Dew hasn't worked there months ago?
Okay, so...
Can you call him? Or how do I pick up charges for Deputy Dew? I went to the DA and they cover for it. I went to the DA there, and I went to the DA in Cass County, and both DAs cover for it.
Did you check any other district attorney offices?
Are you taunting me?
County?
Are you taunting me?
No, ma'am. I'm trying to get information from you.
Okay. Are you? How do I pick up charges for those conspirators in the interference with child custody crime? That's obvious.
If you come down and fill out some paperwork, I can...
I've already done it, and it's missing like it is at all police departments.
Okay, then what I need you to do is come down and talk to me as the investigator. I will look into this for you and find out what's going on and take care of it.
Okay, are you sure you looked up my name correctly and you don't see it?
Okay, I've got C-L-A-R-K. Spell your first name for me.
Keyana. Did you get my date of birth?
What's your birthday? Let me try that.
Yes, that probably would help. Okay, from what I'm reading while I'm looking that up, a person commits an offense with the intent to interfere with the lawful custody of a child younger than 18 years. He knowingly entices or persuades or takes a child from the custody of a parent or guardian or person standing in the stead of the parent or guardian of such child. And that's a family code, and your officer covered for it, which tampering with evidence is a felony. So that officer committed a crime, as well as a multitude of those staff that hung up in my face and kept me obstructing justice by preventing me from reporting this man's abuse and cover-up, as well as what you're doing today. I'm seeing here that you guys obstructed justice and committed a crime and did not follow procedure with the interference of child custody crimes. Maybe that's why you didn't want to discuss it, because that would show that you committed a crime in your department.
Okay, Ms. Clark, I'm finding your name in our system, but I don't see where there was a report ever made. And the only time I see your name in here was from October of 2021.
Okay, what do you see?
Just your name. So that's why I'm trying to find out. Did you call in? You said you called in to make a report.
So October of 2021, you see my name, but nothing else? Is that odd?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out from you.
Well, you haven't found out. I've been on the line with you a long time. Well, here's the thing. Let's find out this. How are you going to rack up the felonies that you keep committing? I just told you that your officer committed a crime of being a conspirator and interference with child custody, obstructed justice, and would not give me access to my son, even though I was a legal custodial parent. Then other conspirators. I'm still talking. You're tampering with evidence. Then other is still a crime. Then there was other conspirators in Cass County. Since your officer got away with that crime and obstructed justice, why would you tamper with evidence, sir, and not let me speak as you guys have done years?
Cass County, okay?
I'm reporting the crime and the conspiracy, and you're interrupting it as you guys have done years. So then when your officer did that, I went to Cass County, and reported the crimes in a different jurisdiction when he was at another location. Cass County, too, went up to the school and gave me a criminal trespass to enforce these crimes that you guys committed. There's a multitude of conspirators taking bribes to sabotage my rights as a parent, which is civil rights violations. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is a criminal offense. And I'm trying to incriminate people. And I hope you get your charges. We played games all this time long enough. I hope that I've incriminated you. You guys have gotten away with this chaos years. Deprived me of information, blatantly lied, taunted, violated with no consequences. Then I have this texter committing other crimes. Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
So here's the texter. They're not going to help. These calls are controlled, which is what I'm trying to show. If you believe the government and the police are conspiring against you, they made a mistake. You continue to call them day after day after day for years. You do know that this is very definition of insanity. Also, Jason is not bothering you. HE double hockey sticks. He never did. He has a restraining order against you. The person that contacted you through fake pages with a catfish. Let me click on this. Because of your mental instability, it's hard for you to see that you're a danger to others. Someone is going to hurt you one day, and it will be your fault. You'll record your own demise one day if you don't stop. This is a threat. Kiana, no, this is not a threat. We don't live nowhere near each other. I just really don't want to see you get harmed in any way. So I'm so glad my daughter is not around you. Witness your foolishness through this. This is your family. This is why your family doesn't want you around. Seek help before it's too late, Kiana. Well, I think I'm done incriminating people. I've had to endure this insanity years, and while you stood by a multitude of parties and did nothing, watch my life get violated to extreme, to the degree that possibly it stole your rights, which is common sense. If you see a person getting terrorized and violated of constitutional rights repetitively over and over, and you witness the government self-destruct and you stand by idly and do nothing, why would your expectation be that you won't get violated? Anyway, this is a video diary. I'm tired now.